here today we have Sophia. Sophia, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you for jumping in and helping with this. I think you're probably the best person here to go through some of these questions because today we're going to be discussing, and it's part of a series in May that we're doing. So we're going to it's really about Messer, about what all the value props that Messer has, all the benefits that Messer has to the agents and the agencies that we have out here. So I'm kind of excited to start getting into this and going through all the features. This week we're going to be talking about just an overview of everything that Messer has. It's important for especially new agents coming in. They don't have a lot of information. Sometimes. So, it's important for us to go through this again. I know y'all go through it when you bring people on and you onboard people. Yeah. But it's like drinking from a fire hose.
Oh, absolutely.
And so there's a lot of information that we take on all at one time. So it's good to kind of go back through these programs that we have, all the benefits that we have. Yeah. And so I'm excited about going through this with you today.
Oh, thank you, Brandon. I'm excited. Thank you for inviting me to come over. Hello to all of you. It's a pleasure to be back here and doing this, I guess, more of a podcast style with Brandon Adams. And for those who don't know me, if you're new here, my name is Sophia Xavier, and I'm the Managing Marketing Director here at Messer. And it's a pleasure to be here. I'm really excited. Like to Brandon's point, one of the things that we do with not myself only, but our marketers and our marketing team is we help you guys get the contracts you need to support your business and your clients. And we also go over the programs and benefits, how to qualify for them, what the benefit are. And I think it's funny that you say, because really sometimes when we're talking to new agents and we understand there's so many options out there. And at times they want to just interview us and find out but what is the difference that Messer brings to the table. And it's funny because we want to answer everything, but if you don't tell us about you and what you do and what is important to you, we can't provide the information that's important to you because we do so much. We have so many different departments and so many different resources that are for all different markets in the insurance industry, so that whenever somebody says, tell me about Messer, I'm like, well, okay.
Where do we start?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I get that. And I don't want anybody to think that this is just about new agents, especially if you're an existing agency and you're recruiting and you're trying to, build a downline for yourself. These are important. This is important information that you need to have if you're going to recruit and attract and retain talented agents.
Absolutely.
So it's a big part of it.
Well said. A lot of our top agencies have taken advantage of these products and the programs and used it to their advantage in recruiting and finding good agents to be part of their business. That's for sure.
Well, today this is gonna be a question and answer format. Okay. And so I get questions from questions from the field and the agents and the agencies that we have. Yep. So these are not just things that we make up. These are questions that come in on a daily basis, and especially from your folks on the marketing team. It's you guys kind of hear it front of the line, hear it all day long. So we just compile these questions, and we want to break them down a little bit. I'm going to ask Sophia questions. She's going to ask me questions, and I'll probably chime in on stuff, and you do the same. But so let's get started. Really one of the first questions that we have is always just like you just say. You just ask, can you start by telling me what sets Messer apart from other FMOs?
Yeah. I think obviously, like we said, there are so many things that we do, and typically we like to try to target, ask the agent what is it that their primary role or what they're trying to accomplish when they find a partner or looking for a new partner or just exploring partnerships in general. But I think one of the things that stand Messer apart is that we are one of the last standing truly independent FMOs or NMOs, in the country. And that says a lot because that brings value to the agents, because if they're, with Messer and we're typically, connected with a carrier based on our relationships, it just brings them, it's that whole tagline that we have is do you want to be, one of many or the one that matters? And one of the things I've learned recently, I've known that, when you're with Messer, you're vested from day one. And you own your book of business from day one. And what I thought it was interesting is that I'm so used to saying that, right, Brandon? We know this. If Messer has always done this, but as I'm going and meeting agents out there that are not with Messer or have never heard of us recently in recent conferences, the vesting clause from day one is actually a big deal, obviously, but it's not common. A lot of our competitors, a lot of the options out there don't offer vesting from day one.
They do not.
They don't. And so that's one of the things I was like, I have to make sure I'm always saying that. Because at times, like, yes, you can be independent and yes, you can be vested, but if you're not vested from day one, sometimes it means that you have to wait 2 years, 3 years, 5 years until you're fully vested to actually make a change. And that's not the case with us. Obviously, the legacy program is another one. The legacy
program is probably that's a big separator.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's, again, I think it's interesting how to see in our industry, when we launched the legacy, soon after we started, we actually had people when we would talk to agents, they're like, "Oh, my current, FMO does that." I was like, "Are you sure though? Did they give you a paper that says it's a document that really is a legacy?" And later they will look into it and it wasn't an actual thing, or they never got actual paper document saying it was. And then fast forward now, some out there offer a type of legacy program so that they could say they offer something, but it's not 100%
right
of the commissions to your unlicensed loved ones, right? Beneficiaries. So, and then lastly, I think it would be the technology.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, MyMFG in itself, our proprietary quoting and enrolling tool. And then MyMFG data, which is something we just recently, you're about to launch it mostly, right?
Yeah, we're going to be launching it in the MyMFG data conversation is going to come, I think, in 2 weeks. We're going to do some webinars starting to get everybody familiar with what that is, and it's going to be a huge reporting and benefit to the agent, to all agents, whether you're an agency or an agent. It's knowing where you are in this business is going to change a lot for a lot of people. Knowing exactly what your book of business looks like. It's going to be huge. So,
the full breakdown. You want to know your persistency. You want to know like where is your how is your book going and what are your agents doing and vice versa, how you can actually guide them through what's the opportunity, the heat maps, because I know that like a lot of this information we've had it for years. We have this, right? But agents would have to get access to that. They would have to call us, and that was one of the benefits too for Messer. We've always had this information, but the fact that most agents will really just get that by really just calling. Now we're just giving that access to them at their convenience, which is one of the things that we love to do. I mean, if anything, we want to make the agent, do all the things that they need to do without having to depend on, calling somebody or doing the things they are able to do it on their own. Obviously, we want them to call always, but
sure. Well, from an agent's perspective, I looked at it like if I can see my entire book of business and I don't have to jump through 67 different carriers to find it, and I can audit my book in one place. And I don't want to steal any thunder for in a couple weeks from now.
Let's steal the thunder, Brandon.
But I want everybody to realize that and Sophia's right. What sets us apart are all the things that she just listed out. But we're on the cutting edge of a lot of stuff.
True.
And we're constantly updating. We're constantly looking at new ways to make the agent's life a little bit easier. But all these things coming out are very exciting. So, I'm looking forward to promoting that a little bit more.
Yeah. So tune in, folks. Please make sure you go to the events calendar in our website and go register.
Absolutely.
And if you don't see the link, please call us.
Yeah, the link should be popping up here shortly if it's not already there. So Messer's philosophy is you don't work for us, we work for you. How does that mindset actually play out day to day? And I think we should ask that question from like internally, from a Messer internal standpoint. How does that message play out day to day with when you're dealing with agents and when you're working with agents?
Well, really is like you mentioned internally, everything that we have here is geared the idea that we are all working for you, for the agent. So, you don't have to go through the contracting process on your own. You don't have to go through your commission reconciliation on your own. We know how much of a time-consuming task that is, to the point that we have agents who have like one or two or more assistants just to get that done. And when they did the switch to be able to partner with us, they have more of that support, right? We have a huge team on the commission side. We have a huge team on contracting. We have producer support.
So the departments, that's where I think of it when when that question comes up. I think about the different departments within Messer.
Yeah.
We have several people in marketing, but we have the same amount or more in producer support. We have the same amount or more in contracting. I mean, our technology team, I think they have probably 15 to 20 people in that team. All the way to commissions and finance. We have a lot of people. I mean, you got to think about it just on the commission side. That seems like an overwhelming task when you have all these different carriers and then you have all these different agents and agencies. So we have to have a big team.
Yeah.
So I think that's another separator for us too, is that we have the staff and within the departments and the education within the departments to handle anything that our agents are dealing with.
And we're a company of exceptions. So the fact that we are a company of exceptions, that we create things for agents to really cater to their business needs, that's another layer of complexity that we bring to the table to allow them to, and that's, again, is how we work for you, right? Is how we work for the agent, is to make sure that we can make sure that they're well set up and then they can have the nuances of our industry like well set up on their side of their business.
So they get that one-stop shop experience, with Messer. And then you have, just the industry experience within this organization. I mean, everybody here, there's a lot of people here that work at Messer that used to be agents. So they have that field experience. There's a lot of people here, that may have worked for another carrier. So they have that carrier experience. So we have a big melting pot of individuals here that have just years and years and years of education. I think we got some folks here that have been in the insurance business for over 40 years.
Absolutely.
So that's experience not just in the field, but experience with working with carriers and understanding where we were before compared to where we're going. It's huge for the agents to have access to that.
Yeah, it means a lot for sure.
And then Messer's grown from a small team in 2004. Back in 2004 to now we have thousands of agents across, all the states in the United States. What do you think has driven that growth mainly from your perspective?
I think, from my perspective, I think it's really the wonderful resources that are always geared towards the agent and having the agent front and center and the agent experience. Like I said before, and it's part of our messaging, right? Being one of many, or the one that matters, is for them to be able to do the best that they can. And so, and I think it's, like when you have a really good business and you grow word of mouth, right? Because agents have a good experience and then they grow and they grow and they grow. And so we still have that experience. We still kind of even operate as a boutique kind of shop, right?
Sure, I get that.
More, we want to be close to the agent. We want to have that relationship because it is a relationship business, right? So, and we know this on our end. We know this us with the agents with the carriers, and our carrier relationships, and all that makes a huge difference when you're trying to do business, right? In general, when you go to help your clients and you have an issue, you need to call somebody. You have someone to call who understands what you're going through, and that's us.
I would think that. Probably to answer that, there's one word that answers that question to me, is that's the relationships. I've seen the relationships that Messer has with all of our agents, and that's I believe that's the reason for this growth, and that's what we promote, to our agents, and agents should be promoting within their businesses, that the relationship you have with your clients is the reason that you're going to grow, and you're going to grow organically, and it's gonna take off for you. If you're taking care of your clients, they're going to take care of you, and
exactly,
and we definitely have that mindset.
Yeah, exactly.
Jumping into some of the technology, MyMFG, it was described really first to me as more of a CRM with a quote and enroll feature. But how does that single platform approach save agents' time? How does one of our taglines is helping talented agents close more sales. How does that platform help agents close more sales?
I mean, that's a great question, and we get that a lot from agents. And again, like obviously to get access to this MyMFG platform, you have to have partnership with Messer, and typically being part of the program. It's one of the values that we're able to bring to the table.
So you have to be licensed. You have to be appointed with Messer to have access to MyMFG.
Exactly. Okay. So you do have to just
buy it off.
You can't, right. Great point. Like you can't just let me just, pay a fee and have access to it. We could have done that, but we really chose to do that. That's part of our resource to you when you decide to have Messer as a partner, is that you get access to this fantastic platform that we created with agents, right? So all our chairman, councils, always give us feedback on how to continue to grow. Every agent that works with it and uses it gives us, and that's how we get to develop it. And so you are able, it's truly the only platform still, Brandon, in our industry that allows you to quote, enroll, MA and ACA. And then now we have ancillaries as well, because the idea is to save you time and cross sell. And I say this because there are so many now out there. Again, I love that we're like the leader of the pack of always starting with the new things. But we have had this platform for so long, and we're still the only one. There are others out there that are going to say that they can quote and enroll, but it's not the same system. It's a different system. There's multiple systems. So you're going to log into one, and then it's going to take you to another. While MyMFG, you can quote and enroll, and you're still in the same system. You don't have to log in and out to another portal. And you can quote and enroll MA, ACA, and the ancillaries. So that saves you a ton of time right there, because you can then do reporting, help yourself know where the opportunities lie, right? When you're trying to grow your Medicare side or your ACA side, and just the cross-selling opportunity.
Well, so that, I want to touch on that point.
Yeah.
Talk about that for a second. So like for me, having that quoting and enroll platform, being able to do both, it's great. It's the ease of use is easy for me. I can navigate through it, and you can navigate through MyMFG with minimal training.
Oh yeah.
You don't have to have a big giant training class to get through MyMFG. But what sticks out to me is that, and what separates us from everybody else is because you have your contracts here, we're able to show you that data, where we can't do that if you're licensed with other, outside of Messer, and we can't get that information. That enrolling and having that data stored in MyMFG allows us to create what we were talking about earlier, is the new program called MyMFG Data, and be able to see your book of business. That right there is the special part for me, because if I got one place that I can go and I can pull all this information, that's the route I'm going to take.
Yeah, and one of the biggest things too, and I love that you pointed that out, because at least for newer agents or agents, they're always, I hear a lot that being overwhelmed with a thousand different logins.
Right.
I mean, myself, even though there's a password that saves my password, somehow it forgets the password too.
Right.
So the computer forgets your password. You don't know where you put your password. And so a lot of agents sometimes struggle with the fact that they have to log into multiple carrier and learn different types of systems. This one is one login. You learn one thing and how to enroll. So even though you're able to see, even if we were to sell make it for a purchase, you will be able to see every single carrier there. It doesn't matter if you have it with Messer or not.
Right.
Because obviously that's what a proper quoting tool does, would allow you to see everything available there. But to your point, you quote and you enroll in MyMFG, that data is there. You can help us help you, because if there's something goes wrong with that enrollment, because it was made through Messer, we actually can go above and beyond and have that conversation and do things on your behalf. And then again, back to, we actually save you time, and this is how we work for you.
Well, that brings us to a couple other. Well, one more question is, what are some of the other features aside from quote and enroll? What are some other features that we can highlight on MyMFG?
It depends on the market, but I love, agents typically love when we mention the BEQ feature in the Medicare side, because it allows you to see, what is the Medicaid levels and everything, and you're able to decide what is the best plan for them. Super, super easy to navigate that. Additionally, I think what we use to protect the client data is one that is truly works. And I don't want to put anybody, in a bad spotlight, but, a few years back when there was a leakage and, all that client information was out there, we didn't have that problem. And they couldn't see the Medicare numbers, they couldn't see the LIS numbers. We didn't have that problem because our data, where we get that from, we secured. And so our agents were able to continue to make those enrollments that they needed to and find out the LIS levels, because we used the BEQ instead of the other options. The other thing I would highlight is the carrier, the links. So you can actually send your client links, and then there you have a scope of appointment. Or on the ACA side, they allow you to, you get the consent forms that you need to be able to make that sale. They can even go into thinking that they chose their plan, and then that just generates a lead for you. And we have a lot in the pipeline, which I'm excited, because I know that we're creating that client-facing link on the ACA side that will make, way easier for agents
self-enroll
self-enroll
programs. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, those would be for me. What about you?
I just think that, for me, it's always about having my data in one place and being able to look at my book of business. I mean, we're all insurance agents, so we don't really punch a clock.
Yeah.
So I always kind of look at that aspect of our business as, well, how do we punch our clock? Well, it's based on ratios. And how do I know what my ratios are if I don't have my data? If I don't know, how many people do I need to talk to? And it's as simple as this. How many people do I need to talk to make this amount of money? As far from my business perspective and from me learning how to go out and make money every week. And
what about
it's huge.
The ability to be able to look at your client and see, okay, you also not only sold the Medicare and then the wife has the ACA, but you also sold them the ancillary products all in one place.
Right. Yeah.
You don't want to have to, let me create a separate log and I have to, John Smith, I sold this, this, and this. These are all the products I have. You have all that in one place. Yeah.
We just came out of National Financial Literacy Month in April. I think that was a good webinar series for us because the theme of it all, the theme of some of the, what do you want to call that where you just came from?
Like a conference.
The conference you just came from, the trade show you just came from. All the trade shows and conferences and carriers, there's one theme right now going around, and I think it's about diversity.
Yeah.
And if everywhere you look, it's about how do I diversify? How do I get off of this one road that I'm on and multiply that? Whether it's selling ancillary products or life insurance or annuities or anything. So we spent some time last month talking about that. And my question is, how do our carrier partnerships and our product lineup protect agents and their clients across their entire family? Like what do we have that fits that diversity need for agents?
I think it's interesting, like you say, because we have been talking about this forever. Since I'm going to complete 5 years here at Messer, and since I've been here, the whole motto of Messer is being ahead of the curve to make sure that the agent has what they need to be able to support their clients. No matter if their business is focused on Medicare, they don't need to say no to ACA. They don't need to say no to ancillary life. Like, they should be going in there and be able to be the one agent, one-stop shop agent, and not have to do that alone, because it could be really overwhelming. So I do love that everybody seems like everyone's now talking about it. And again, we're steering the way, but it's not new to us, right?
Right.
So, we have group, we have ICRA support, we have annuities life, and we have experts on those. We have the ACA, we've been in the ACA game since it started, and Medicare, we've been doing this for over 20 plus years. And again, to your point, we have people who have been doing that for longer than that. So it's a combination. You know how Aetna, or other carriers, they go and they are bigger because they combine all the years of experience. So, we should actually calculate ours for real for next time and share. Like, it's a lot. It's like definitely 100 plus. What more?
Right.
Because folks have been doing this for, like you said, over 40 years. So,
yeah.
I love it. I love it. I did hear some folks. So some people were really excited that they were okay, how do I diversify? Like, how do I get to do this? But a lot of folks too, they're like, it's a lot. Now I have to be an agent, a jack of all trades. I have to be an expert on every single product. It's a lot.
It is. I think when you see this, first of all, there's a national something month every other day. It's National Dental Month, or it's National Wash Your Car Month, or whatever it is. But what I think that did is just shine a spotlight. Put a bigger spotlight because of what's going on in the marketplace. There's changes in the marketplace. People get a little unnerved about what's going on in the marketplace a lot of times. So the diversity conversation is a bigger conversation nowadays.
Yeah.
I think, though, you got to back up and think, like, the majority of the time what we're talking about when it comes to that is you got an ACA agent just selling ACA plans. And so what's going to happen there, and what is happening there, is they're losing business. So if you're wanting to think about retention in your business, Messer is the best place to do this, because we have programs and plans and carriers in place to help you with that retention side. So, if you're talking to an ACA agent that, that's all they're doing, they don't want to expand, they don't even sell dental, some of them,
leaving money on the table.
The next person, what we're trying to say is the next person that comes along is going to offer all those things, and you have the potential to lose that client. Yeah. So, by diversifying, you're retaining your business. From a business perspective, that's what I want to say. I don't want to write business and lose 60 and 70% of my business in the first year. So, and to get around from doing that, we have to start thinking about other avenues. But it is a lot.
Yeah.
If you're an ACA agent and you're wanting to get into Medicare, well, now you got to take AHIP and you got to study Medicare, and there's a lot of education on that side.
True.
However, are you just going to lose your folks that are turning 65?
Right.
I mean, you're basically just giving away your clients if you don't step up and start thinking of it that way.
Yeah, exactly. So, and to your point, to agents who don't want to start offering other products, but I think that was mostly like more in the past and last year until now. I'm hearing more and more agents who were like that, say, no, I really need to diversify. I just don't know where to start. I think starting with a partner that has been doing those for a while is your best chance to succeed. And then knowing that is like, you don't take it easy, it's one step at a time. Like you said, if you're an ACA, do your AHIP, do the steps. It doesn't mean that you're necessarily like, okay, now I have to offer no, at least you're ready. You're ready for when that opportunities come. You have your partner to rely on. You can call your market. You can call your producer support. You can call us. We'll make sure that those first enrollments are well. You can call you, Brandon, and your team to like do the trainings and everything. The deep dives and the Medicare 101s and all the things. And so you feel prepared to have that first sale. And the more you do, then you feel more comfortable. And again, even though agents have been doing maybe the cross-selling for years, even if you're a subject matter expert, you never know everything.
No.
So you're always going to continue. This is why we're in this together. You're looking for a lawyer partner to the end of the times so you can actually do everything and not feel so overwhelmed that you have to be doing, that you are doing everything.
Yeah, and the other part of that is I don't want to feel like I'm on some island by myself. I want to, if I'm venturing into new areas and and diversifying into new product lines, I'm going to have some support behind me. Especially if you're going from ACA to Medicare, you're going to need some help and training and some people to bounce some stuff off of and questions that you're going to have. So, we and just to let everybody know too, we spend our entire team here at Messer. We have training every morning. We call it our in-house training from 8:15 to 9 o'clock every single morning, Monday through Thursday. And so we are constantly, bringing up new subjects and introducing new material to help us make sure we're all on the same page and we're all saying the same thing. Yeah,
exactly. But, and like a lot of agents, that reminded me a little bit of when an agent sells Medicare, which we come across many of them, and they're, ACA is not like, this is a waste of my time or whatever. But then at the same time, we have agents that are doing that and they're also saying, I need leads. That is your opportunity right there. You don't have to focus on selling ACA, but be ready to be able to, because you go into a household of somebody who's turning 65, maybe their partner are not turning 65 yet. Are you going to just miss that opportunity to support them? They're going to have to find another agent.
Right.
No, right?
That's kind of crazy.
And the opportunity is as good, financially, we know how the residuals work. And so agents that have been doing this for a long time on the Medicare, they really just will be open to the opportunity to learn more about it, right? What is the opportunity there?
What new products do we have coming out or coming online,
yes.
that are, really for Messer agents?
For Messer agents? Yeah. I'll touch on the one that I do know of that is, it's newer this year. It's been newer, the ICRA space, right? We have the systems in place. We have the opportunity to help you find a TPA and then how we do it. We have different ways and models. So definitely call the marketing team so they can go over that with you, and producer support can also go over it. Obviously, MyMFG data. And then there's another one that I'll let you touch on.
Presidium. Yeah. So we got a new identity protection product that we're working with. We had the old one. We decided to expand on that and to add some different benefits and get some new plans. But the Presidium, the identity protection plan, we've not, as insurance agents, we've not sold that type of specific plan before. And I think we're on the front of this wave that's coming out. And I can tell you, in any ancillary situation, Sophia, you have to build the need, because you're not selling free plans here. You're not selling food cards. And so you have to build the need for ancillary products, and that kind of falls into it. And what's funny about that one is I always just ask this one question to build the need. And you can ask your client, you can ask agents, you can ask anybody this question. How many times this week, so it's Wednesday, how many times this week have you had a text, an email, or a phone call that you knew was a scam? So
I had 3 so far.
Right. So that answers a lot of questions. Is there a need there? Yes, because everybody's getting hammered on this, especially like seniors are really getting beat up on this. A lot of people don't realize that your children are at high risk these days.
Oh, absolutely.
And with the onset of AI and who knows what's going to happen on that front. So we all need to protect ourselves, from financial devastation. I really feel like this policy falls in our wheelhouse for
protection,
having a portfolio of products. So it's definitely part of that. And so y'all everybody will see that new product that's coming out here in the next
We're going to be rolling out like a webinar style to introduce everything,
marketing materials, and all new stuff. So
fantastic.
It's really great. And we started it a little bit before, but people are, I think they're coming online with us now and seeing the benefit. So
and anyone who've had, would get, there's options of those out there. But I do agree that ours is one of the most competitive in the market.
It is.
So
Absolutely is.
So if you have one yourself, please tune into ours so you can see how much ours is much better, and the ability that you'll be able to sell it to yourself, obviously, and it's a foot in the door, right?
Yep.
It's that foot on the door. No, there's less issues in terms of solicitation, right? Regulations, as we all know, on the other markets. So you're able to go and talk about something that's super important. It's scary nowadays, to be completely honest with you. I love technology. Love it. The facility of it, the way that it improves our lives. But it also brings that other side of it, that it is maybe not as regulated as it should be, or, looked into.
There's a criminal element to that.
Yeah.
Just like anything else.
Yeah, exactly. So very important for us to protect our folks and ourselves with ID theft protection.
Yeah. And one more point I want to add to that question is what's new is that, it's not a new program, but our Messer programs are just stellar. Honestly, I mean, we have the all-in program.
Yes.
We have the Medicare and ACA Star program, the Legacy Addendum, Legacy program that we have. Those are all programs that we have within Messer that are genuinely focused on making the agents' lives better and giving them some benefit to being a part of our team. And we push as much benefit into those programs. So an all-in means if you have all your contracts with Messer.
Yeah, all life and health.
The Star programs, whether it's Medicare or ACA Star, if you have all your Medicare Advantage contracts with us, you have all your ACA contracts with us, you can be a part of that program. That's great for everybody, especially newer agents coming in. They haven't had a chance to go out and get licensed with several different carriers. You don't have to. It's all here. It's all in one place, and it gives you that one-stop shop. And by doing that, we try to provide benefit for folks that are doing that with us.
Yeah, it's not uncommon for agents there's some folks who, from before have contracts direct to carriers when that is an option. There's some that have contracts with different partnerships, and they're kind of scared it out. So the idea of consolidating your contracts with one partner it's a big deal. And some folks sometimes are a little bit on the fence because they believe that they're going to become captive. And that's not at all the case with us. The idea of you getting all your, exclusive contracts with Messer for Medicare, ACA, or life and health is so that we can provide all these additional benefits to you at no cost.
But that's the other. It doesn't cost you to be a part of this program.
Exactly. So it's not a scam. It's not as, people sometimes we're like, but how much does it cost? Or this is too good to be true. I agree. It is. And you should take advantage of it while we change our minds before we change our minds, because we give you so many resources, the quoting tool, the technology, at no cost. MyMFG data, that's going to be a separate deal. But everything else, and also it's not even part of an actual program. You can have it, there's different stipulations for that. But in the program, right, there's a free AHIP, there is, E&O, there is lead program, right, on the Medicare side and all in. We want to be able to support you on the Medicare side with your marketing needs. So, for every 10 apps that you write with the same effective date in the same month, when it's not January 1st, it'll generate a dollar amount to help you with your marketing. And it could be leads. It could be maybe you want to put it back into your business. So you could do, a radio ad, whatever. That's an ability for you. And it's an earned lead credit program, really. So as you continue to write business, you're earning those marketing dollars to use it back into your business.
So the more I write, the more I get marketing dollars for leads.
Uncapped.
Okay.
The same thing on January 1st effective date, that will be up to 20 applications in a month. But again, you're just earning as you're writing. So
what about right now? What if I write a policy right now with that account?
That would, of course, yes. Okay. You write a policy right now, that will count. So
it's not just for AEP and OEP and
exactly,
that kind of thing. Okay.
Exactly. Great question. So it's throughout the year. We want to encourage you and really give you the what you need to continue to market yourself.
Gotcha.
Apart from the ability to help you with the marketing, because we have resources to help you how to grow your digital space. That's a content we're creating right now that is to help agents who want to grow online and in social media. We are growing some other resources. We have marketing flyers. We have the compliance team to overlook anything that needs to be regulated and ensure that you're not getting yourself in trouble. And all that is part of being part of a star with Messer. So we can still partner with agents at every capacity. So if you just want to try us out and do one contract with us and see how do they really operate? Absolutely. Or if you don't need it and you're happy with your partner, even though they don't give you legacy, sure. Do what you can with us. But at some point, we see more and more these last couple of years, as many more resources we add to the programs, agents are just I guess I have to be part of the program.
Right.
You're just telling me I can't because I just don't have this one contract with you. Yeah, because the way that we were able to even give you the legacy is because if something were to happen to you and you pass away, we can only really take care of that book if that contract is here.
Right.
If the contract's not here, all those clients will be left off of your book. And we won't be able to pay those out to your family. So It just doesn't work as well.
Give me another benefit to being in one of the all-in or star programs. Because one stands out to me. I'm curious which one stands out to you the most.
Obviously, there's the commitment, but to stand out from one of the particular programs.
You said legacy, the legacy agreement. That's one that stands out probably
huge.
The most.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's the E&O.
Okay.
The E&O benefit.
Yeah.
We provide that E&O service to our all-in members, and we hold the policy. So it's we're saving you money.
True.
In a big way, and that E&O is important because if you don't have it these days, then you can't even get contracted with most carriers these days without E&O. So,
exactly. And you shouldn't want to either because you need to protect yourself.
It's definitely saving you money. We have a great policy there. The MyMFG platform, all the bells and whistles that go along with that.
Yeah.
So those are a few that we have. There's loads of other stuff in the all-in program, but today is more of a high level overview of what we do. It's really
speaking of that.
The
benefits, right? Another thing that part of for you to get access to that is to become a top producer with Messer, you have to be in the program, and to be becoming that, you get an opportunity about the Top Producer Summit, right?
You get to be a part of that.
Yeah. So would you share a little bit about the Top Producer Summit?
So we call it TPS, Top Producer Summit, and we bring in carriers. So where there's an expo hall there, we have loads of breakout sessions, and that's where we have panels of carrier reps that come in to talk about what's going on in the industry. You get to, it's a little bit more, interactive. So you get to ask questions to the folks that are, have their hand on the pulse of what's going on in the industry today.
Yeah.
Whether it's Medicare or ACA side or ancillary policies or, we're just talking about technology. We have these breakout sessions are awesome.
Yeah.
We have dinners for everyone that are there, and we have an awards program, an awards banquet. We bring in speakers.
Yeah.
I think
all the juicy things you need to know before enrollment seasons.
I don't have any of the speaker names yet, but some of these speakers are really big names, and
nice.
They give you a lot of insight of what's going on in the industry. But to me, all these over the last however many years I've been doing this and going to these types of meetings, the networking with other agents is the biggest draw for me, as an agent, because I get to be around not only what's going on in the industry and what's going on with the carriers, and you get some FaceTime with the carriers, but I get to talk to folks like yourself and other agents that are successful and kind of get some insight on what they're doing. Last year when I was there, I had a 4 or 5 minute conversation with an agent, and he told me that he was doing something, and I'm like, never even thought of that. And it was a great idea, and he's had a lot of success from it. So that's where I get a lot of ideas from the networking part of it. So, but to be a part of that is huge these days. And again, you don't feel like you're on this island by yourself. You feel like you're a part of this bigger organization and this living thing that is growing.
And an all expense paid.
Right.
Event.
It is all expense paid.
So that's part of your reward too of becoming a top producer.
We bring you here, put you up in the hotel rooms, feed you, giving you tons and tons of information and education and
fun.
We have a kind of a fun day, an excursion day that we go out, but I think that that we've covered a little bit of it. A lot of agents are already contracted with other FMOs. What would you say to the agent who's on the fence about switching or adding Messer products to their portfolio?
I would say it obviously depends, especially because we were talking this whole time, it's a relationship business, and that's important, and loyalty is important. So, but truly, are they loyal to you? That would be one thing I would ask, because we know we are to our agents. I mean, the level of support that Roy and Bill have given to our agencies and agents it's truly one of a kind. And by talking to some of our folks out there, our peers in the other NMOs and FMOs of the world, it is one of a kind. And so that. And I would ask, what don't you have? What is missing in your portfolio right now that you could add? And then that gives you the opportunity to see if we can support you there.
Ask yourself some questions like, am I doing one thing? Can I be adding additional plans to what I'm doing? Do I need additional education? Am I utilizing the technology that's available to me?
Exactly.
Best of my ability.
Find a product. And that, like you said, think your agency as it's your business, right? So what is best for your business right now? Especially if you don't have something in place for your business, right? That is going to protect all your hard work. Is that important to you?
Yeah. Our relationships, it goes back to what you said. It's about relationships. We really we covet our relationships with our agents in a huge way, and that's how we take care of people, and that's how we've grown so much. I think a lot of our agents would, personally, I don't know if I would do as well out there by myself, trying to muddle through all the information and education I'm supposed to be getting. It would be tough. It would be tough for me to do that. But we're here to provide the tools and the education so you can write more business, and more importantly, you can retain that book of business. That's the name of the game, and which protects your legacy.
Exactly.
And so, and that's what we're here to do. But do you have anything else to add?
I mean, I would say from all the things that we did, talked about, there's so much. I definitely want to encourage everybody to make sure that they're tuning in, to the webinars that we do, the trainings, to give us feedback, like anything that you use and you like. Feedback is super important.
That's very important.
We love when when all of you are here and we get to spend some time with you and share.
This entire webinar is based on the feedback that you and I get on a daily basis, and our marketers get, and agent development gets, and producer support. We all get this type of feedback. We compile this information, and we get you the right answers, and we talk about it in a little bit more of an open forum. I'm not a big fan of just reading slides and reading a PowerPoint. So
and don't be shy. Don't be a stranger. Call us. If you have partnered with Messer, you don't have a marketer, or you're not sure who they are, just give us a call. Call Brandon, call his team, call everybody here so we can help best support you. And I'm excited with this coming year. There's a lot of good changes that has happened in our industry. Disruption is it's hard, right? Obviously. But from the conversations I've had, it has been a blessing in disguise for so many folks, at least to help grow their business. It has not been great for consumers, for sure. It's been tough. But if you feel like through these last couple 2 years, if you weren't able to grow, maybe look at the partnership that you have, because maybe they're not giving you what you need to be able to be successful. Agreed. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for being here with me today.
Thank you.
I appreciate this. And
my pleasure.
And to everybody, if you have any questions, again, this webinar is going to be recorded, so you can access your agent portal and rewatch this webinar if you need some questions answered. You can call Sophia and her team. You can call our team. Anybody within Messer, we're here to help you. Again, I appreciate everybody for being on today. And this concludes our webinar. Have a great week.